I'm Doug Massi, and today I'll share my top 3 final expense companies. And since I've never really spoken about guaranteed issue, how about we start there? Between these 4 companies, you are definitely going to be able to insure anybody. I mean anybody with a heartbeat between the ages of 40 and 80 years old. The criteria for these carriers, or any carrier that I would ever lead with, is that they must all have an easy application process for both telephone sales and face-to-face final expense sales, and B, other than the GI carrier, they must do true Social Security billing. Very important. For guaranteed issue, my favorite carrier is Great Western for, well, 2 main reasons. First, they're going to insure anybody between the ages of 40 and 80 years old, no matter what their health is. And second, for agents selling over the phone, they've got the easiest guaranteed issue telesales application process. You simply fill out the e-application, and at the end, you call the phone number and punch in the PIN number, and then a recording starts where you read the voice authorization to the client. Super easy. Remember guys, guaranteed issue is different than your typical normal final expense because, well, first, there are no medical questions, and second, the commission level is only around 60% for that first year as compared to 110% first year commission for my top 3 carriers. Counting down from my number 3 to number 1, my number 3, third favorite final expense carrier is Royal Neighbors of America. And now, guys, would be a great time to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you stick around until the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to get a copy of these 2 killer items: the medical questions page, which you're going to absolutely want to use for every potential client that you sit down with, and the warning page that I put with every policy that I sell, because it will help to scare off unwanted agents that are maybe trying to replace the policy that you sold. Royal Neighbors doesn't ask about height and weight, they don't ask about insulin use, and they don't even ask about neuropathy, which is kind of strange. That's their super niche, which means you can literally give a person first day coverage through Royal Neighbors, otherwise known as RNA, even if they are an insulin diabetic with neuropathy that weighs like 1,000 pounds. Bam! RNA will accept medications that have dual uses, like heart meds that are used for high blood pressure. And if you've got a client on certain blood thinners, pretty much all of them actually, as long as they've been taking those blood thinners for at least 2 years, they can be considered maintenance and not treatment, which means this. So let's say your client had a heart attack or a stroke over 2 years ago, but they're still taking the blood thinner to prevent another heart attack or stroke. Since it's considered maintenance, you can actually answer no to the question that asks if they've been treated for a heart attack or stroke in the past 2 years, which means now you're able to give this client first day coverage. For telesales, they have a true telephone application, which means no writing and no typing. Kind of different, right? You call the phone number and the RNA agent at the end of the phone asks the client all the questions on the application, and they set up the payment while you just hold and listen. Of course, they give you the results right then and there. And for face-to-face, they have an e-app where you will know if the client is approved as applied for before you even get to the end of the application. Number 2 is Transamerica. Now, over the past year, Trans has made their application process a lot easier for both face-to-face and telesales. The only thing I don't like is that they don't give an approval until you've sent in the application, which in most cases actually does happen through email within just a few minutes of sending up the application. Price-wise, they're a top 5 competitive carrier, which means they have super affordable rates for your clients that are approved for the preferred product. They're going to insure people that are 0 to 85 years old and will accept the dual-use medications along with the blood thinner maintenance, the medication rule that I mentioned before, just like Royal Neighbors. Now, here's why they stick out above all the others. If your client has had angina and is taking something heavy like nitroglycerin for more than 2 years, they're going to qualify for preferred rates. Now, if they've been taking the nitro for more than 1 year but less than 2 years, you can still give them first day coverage with the Transamerica standard rates. Transamerica does true Social Security billing just like Royal Neighbors and just like my #1 company, which I'm going to share here in a minute. And if you don't know exactly what true Social Security billing is and why it's super important to have this for all of your clients, I'm going to give you a quick explanation at the end of the video. And a couple more important notes. Transamerica does take Direct Express cards, which, if you don't know what that is, that's what Social Security uses to pay people who don't have a checking account. And you can add an accidental death benefit rider and even like a child/grandchild rider, which brings more value to the sale. It makes this more of a family policy, which in turn will give the client more reason to keep the policy forever, which means a lot better persistence. My #1 favorite final expense carrier is Prosperity SUSA, and it's the same as last year, and here's why. Well, first, Prosperity, unlike the other carriers, pays the same commission on their graded and modified products as they do for their level products. So if you're a brand new agent and let's say you contract with me and your first year commission is 110%, you're going to get paid the same no matter the age of the client or the product. Second, Prosperity gives a 10% quarterly bonus for agents that sell at least $20,000 of annualized premium per quarter. So instead of trying to qualify for like a carrier, vacation, you can actually get the cash and do your own vacation. Third, Prosperity has an almost guaranteed issue term product, this is a little bit different, that will insure people between 40 and 80 years old. And this cool thing has a super niche, man. They don't ask about HIV or AIDS. They take Direct Express cards, just like Transamerica. They do true Social Security billing too, just like the others, which I'm going to explain in a minute. The final expense product can insure people between the ages of 50 and 80 years old. Their e-app will tell you if they're approved as applied for before you even finish, just like Royal Neighbors. And their graded product is actually pretty competitive as far as like a graded product is concerned. I mean, it blows away Transamerica's price. Here's how true Social Security billing works. Let's say your client received their Social Security benefits on the 3rd of the month, but the 3rd falls on a Monday that happens to be a national holiday. So the banks are closed. They've been closed Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Did you know that when this happens, all Social Security benefits and veterans benefits recipients get paid on the business day before the weekend or holiday? So in this case, your client gets their money deposited in their checking account or debit card on the previous Friday before the long weekend. Since most of our clients are living off of a really low and fixed income, they tend to take all their money off of their card or out of their checking account on the same day they actually get it. I bet you didn't know that. True Social Security carriers like Transamerica, Royal Neighbors of America, and Prosperity SUSA will draft the payment on that Friday. Most carriers like Mutual of Omaha and Foresters will wait until Tuesday to draft the payment, when it's too late and now you have a client with insufficient funds who can't afford to make a catch-up payment on the next month. For a copy of the medical questions page and the warning page that I mentioned earlier in the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on becoming an independent agent and having access to the most competitive products, highest commissions, and strongest exclusive leads in the industry, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get out there, guys, and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting. And then a recording starts where you read the voice